Welcome home. We are WNST. Towson, Baltimore. Baltimore positive. We are positively into the crab cake season. We're going to be getting back out with the Gold Rush Sevens doublers on the 12th of July. That is a Friday, and that's the Yankees coming to Baltimore. So it'll be a good time. We'll be at the new Lexington Market. Come on down, have a crab cake with us. Luke and I will be talking some baseball. I've already got some guests booked for that thing. Done a lot of rock and roll here this summer so far. And Luke's just been on the ballpark thing. And then it's the All-Star game after that. Our friends at Liberty Pure Solutions making our water crystal clear. Actually, I have some crystal clear Liberty Pure water right here, right now. So all good. Happy summer. Stay hydrated out there. Make sure if you got well water, you have safe water. Our friends at Liberty Pure Solutions do that, as well as Jiffy Lube Multi-Care. Make sure my car doesn't overheat when I'm going to see Hootie and the Blowfish, having a good time here this summer. We talk a lot about cannabis here in a sort of a new way in education and but I think behind all of this, and Wendy Bronfine is our chief cannabis officer, she has given way this week to another local who I had a chance to meet a couple months ago. You may know of him or his brand or his wife's brand or the Real Housewives or all of that stuff. But the first thing I found out when I was at a dinner mixer was that Happy Eddie is not Happy Eddie of Potomac or DC. It's actually like a Baltimore guy and sort of the Mount Washington, Pikesville, sort of I-83 West. I'm East Side. I've proven that all week with all my Dundalk. We welcome Happy Eddie onto the program. Eddie Oswego is a local, and I'm going to let him tell the story because I heard it a little bit over dinners and cocktails. I'm like, and my wife will tell you, stop, time out. You're green rooming me. I got to have you on the show. I want to get the unabridged version. So, happy 4th of July to you, Happy Eddie. And we're going to find out why you're so happy. But what's going on, man? A pleasure to have you back first on the program, but back into my life in space.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Nestor. I appreciate it. It was actually a good time a couple of months ago when we had the dinner mixer. So thanks for having me on the show today.
Well, I think the reason we do all this is try to learn more, right? Like literally.
Yeah, that's exactly. So yeah, like you mentioned, I'm a local guy. I'm a Maryland guy. I went to Pikesville, grew up in the Pikesville area, Pikesville Middle, Pikesville High. I stayed local, went away to University of Maryland College Park, and then I went away for law school in Philadelphia. But then I came back because I guess Maryland.
Everybody leaves Philadelphia. Nobody's going to stay in Philadelphia. No.
I mean, I was home every other weekend. So
get a cheesesteak, get a pretzel, get the hell out of there. That's what I tell everybody.
There you go. So I'm back. And so a little background on me. So like I mentioned, I went to law school. I have a little attorney background, but my wife and I were actually on the Real Housewives of Potomac. We have been for the past 5 years. And so a little bit of the mixer that we were at, it was a Happy Eddie times Curio Wellness mixer. And I was talking about the brand and the story. And a little about the story of Happy Eddie, the cannabis brand is, attorney by trade, but then I'm on this reality TV show. And as an attorney, I'm doing more transactional corporate law, business law. But cannabis becomes legal July 1st, 2023 for adult recreational use. And I'm like, hey, I need to get involved in this industry some way, somehow. And so I found a partner in Curio Wellness. And the name Happy Eddie kind of came about based on my time on the show. Like it was a moment in time when the women, I smile a lot. I got big teeth. So I smile. And so one of the women thought I was hitting on her because I was smiling. And so it was this running viral thing that was calling me Happy Eddie. And so the women would call me Happy Eddie this, Happy Eddie that. And online, they were like, what? So he's smiling. So he's Happy Eddie. So does that mean he's trying to hit on you because he's smiling? So it was just a preposterous allegation. And the name kind of took off. And I applied it to this cannabis brand. And so
hold on. You got accused online of having smooth moves, is what you're telling me, basically.
On television of having smooth moves because of the smile. You see the smile? $1 million.
Well, so the smile, is that, because there is a thing called resting bitch face that's also an internet thing too, where everybody's frumpy. Yeah. And I smile a lot or make funny faces, and there's memes and all that. They can make them right now if they want. But, part of it is, I probably smile more than the average smiler, and I feel okay about my smile. But like, are you a smiler in general? I mean, a lot of lawyers are frowners, Eddie. You know this.
No, I'm a smiler in general. Like my resting bitch face is smiling, and you don't know what I'm thinking.
Bury me with a smile on my face.
There you go.
So the cannabis side of this, I mean, dude, I don't know how old you are, but you're not 21. You know what I mean? Like, you've been around this long enough to know stigma, illegal, like everything that's gone on.
Yep.
and where we were and where we are. And it's my first foray with you, my blunt person shirt on, having a good time here and just having a frank, honest discussion about all of this is my wife had cancer twice 10 years ago. And in the aftermath, we had sort of seen the Sanjay Gupta style. I
Yeah.
was joke and Wendy usually laughs about that, but that's sort of the first place it came into cable television and sort of
Right.
into your living room where it wasn't High Times magazine in the back somewhere else, or quite frankly, street knowledge or
Right.
internet knowledge, and or going to Amsterdam or watching Pulp
Mhm.
Fiction or whatever it would
Yep.
be.
Yep.
Um, this is a couple of years ago. When did it strike you as a business proposition on the backside of you and your wife doing a very successful television property, right?
Yeah, it's funny because my previous experience with it was from a recreational perspective. Like I didn't look at it from a medicinal lens, and so upon coming into the industry, it's like, wait, there's a lot of people, like you mentioned your wife. There's a lot of people who use it for medicinal purposes to cure or to assist with anxiety, depression, a lot of things that they don't want to lean to narcotics or hard drugs. And cannabis, which is a plant, at the end of the day, it's a plant, and so it's very natural. And so in getting involved in the industry, I learned more about the medicinal aspects and the helping qualities of cannabis. And it's no longer just recreational. I want to get high with my friends. It's like it can help you. It can help you get through your day. It can help you with a lot of ailments that you have. And so
I
that
use this
actually,
product right here. This is my plug right away. I
there you
use this
go.
Move product.
A topical, yeah.
I got an L3, L4.
There you
They've been
go.
telling me they're going to cut on me. I'm 55. Do I look like I want to hear that today?
No, not at
You know what I
all.
mean? Like, so I got things to do,
Right,
and
right, right.
it definitely, this is just one product, but it's a great example. And
There you
my
go.
wife uses some sleep aids from time to time to get a
Yep,
better night's sleep. There are things that we never discovered that we're
yep.
discovering now, and this is being done, Eddie. This is being done by people in Pikesville and Dundalk
Right,
and
right.
local and right here. And the Curio people are real serious
Yeah.
about creating
Quality.
medicine
Yep.
as and quality as and research and efficacy as
Yep.
opposed to a head shop. I don't know what else
Yeah.
to call it. You know what I mean? Right?
Exactly, exactly, and that's the great part about Curio. That's the great part about partnering with them is that there's this quality product that helps people. And so getting just turning back to being on Housewives, we have this platform. Millions of people tune in every Sunday to watch this TV show, and so like you mentioned earlier, there's this stigma associated with cannabis. But I'm hoping that by me being an attorney and someone who you may not normally see associated with illegal, illicit drugs, now that it's legal, that stigma, we could change that stigma. We can normalize it so that people can not only see it through this, oh, stoner smoke, but through a medicinal lens, and it actually helps people. And then look at companies like, Curio Wellness and how they take it very seriously, the science behind it. It's not just, oh, everyone wants to get high and have a good time. No, there's science behind it. And so my brand, I'm hoping to shine a spotlight on the industry, normalize the behavior, try to eradicate some of the stigmas that are associated with it. And so people will give it a chance who haven't. And the people who are in the shadows who, indulge aren't afraid to come to the light, so to speak, and enjoy responsibly, during the daytime,
Well,
you know?
I would also say, like, I had to tell Wendy this. I pimped beer here. I know you find that hard to believe that I drank beer, but I pimp beer here, and we've talked about alcohol openly for almost 33 years now on the radio every day of my
Yep.
life. It's helped me feed my family, and I've seen the good and bad. Both my parents were alcoholics. I'm pretty upfront
Mhm.
about that. But there was no medicinal quality to that. There was
No.
no social benefit other than maybe better looking, after midnight at Bohager's back in the day.
After a few drinks. Yep.
So I'm gonna have some fun with you now. Firstly, for just Real Housewives and your fame or infamy or whatever. I admitted this to your wife. I
Yeah.
have people in my space. My friend Michelle Bresnick Walsh loves your show. She helped save my wife's life with "There Goes My Hero." You can Google that. She's also a bone marrow transplant survivor. My wife's 10-year anniversary was this week, so we're
Oh,
celebrating
congratulations.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm not familiar with Real Housewives other than sort of memes and sort of the
Yeah.
Jersey Shore quality of reality
Yep.
television and going back
Yep.
30 years to The Bachelor and everything that would come. My wife likes television. She
Yeah.
likes shows. What is the real, give me the TV guide synopsis and then tell me what role you play, Eddie Oswego.
So the TV Guide synopsis is it's an ensemble cast of seven dynamic women in and about the Potomac area, Maryland, DC, Virginia area. They navigate friendships and they have group outings with each other.
Is
So
it a
it's the same thing.
forced friendship? Are they 7 people brought together in casting, or are they people who knew each other in real life?
A mixed batch, a little bit of both. So
Okay, so
it's friends who were friends before, and then some friends who have been joined with the group,
well,
and
that's
so they're
not
navigating
unlike
friendship.
any other social circle, right?
There you go.
You and I are friends now. We make new friends. We bring somebody in.
There you
I'm
go.
sure if I link you in right now, we have 38 mutual friends because you're from Pikesville. You might have more
Yep.
than that, but
Right.
yeah. Okay, so I'm just trying to. I
Right.
really don't, and I haven't done a lot of research. And I didn't know who your wife was, but everybody else
Yeah.
is making a big stink. And I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's a big deal. And so I'm married to one of the women on the show, and so I'm a house husband. And so as a house husband, our role is typically to stay out the way and support our wives in anything that they do. Let them know the truths about what they're doing. Let them know, okay, you may have misstepped there, but just be there a sounding board. Some house husbands take their role a little bit more seriously and actually get involved in the ensemble cast dynamics of the women. And that's a
they
house
ain't
husband who
paying
I
you
look for.
enough for that, and you got a
They ain't paying,
cannabis company
period.
to run, and
They
you're
ain't paying, period. So, we're just there. We're there with the arm candy, if you
But
will.
but
And
but hang on. So there's no script though, right? There's no direction for the show. It just
no,
happens.
no, it just happens. And it's funny because, women can fight about anything. Women can fight about their hair blowing in the wind. And so it's kind of a unique idea and concept. They could fight about, you didn't invite me or say thank you for coming to your party the other day. And so having an ensemble cast of women with different personalities, you never know what's going to happen any given moment. And as a husband, I'm just there watching, having a drink, having a cocktail. And there's most of the wives have husbands. So there's like a group ensemble of house husbands. And when they get together, we get together and we shoot the shits and we talk about Happy Eddie. We talk about golf. We talk about random things. And sometimes if we get a little bit intoxicated, we talk about stuff that they'll play and embarrass us on air. So it's fun times. It's interesting. It's a lot of people's guilty pleasure, but it's kind of like it's part of pop culture at this point. There's a lot of housewife shows, a lot of reality TV. That's like mainstream TV now. So, it's a good platform to have.
Well, it's like anything else. It opens doors for other opportunities. Eddie Oswego is here. He is Happy Eddie, and Happy Eddie
Happy
is
Eddie.
now a cannabis brand partnering with our friends over at Curio. And I've been waiting a couple of months to have you on. You're a Baltimore guy, Pikesville background. Give everybody your background. You're Ravens guy, Orioles guy. Like, give me. You went to Maryland. I mean, where'd you go in
Maryland.
Philly? Did you go to Penn, Temple? What'd you do up there?
Now I went to Rutgers Camden, for law school.
Okay.
But came back. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm not really into. I may get shot for this. I'm into baseball. I'm an Orioles fan, but I'm not really an Orioles fan. I'm an Orioles fan by default, but I'm more of a Ravens fan. I'm a football guy, so I'm a Ravens fan.
You're an Oriole
And
fan as a social guy because you're from Baltimore.
there you go. There you go. So I go to the bar, catch a game, but I'm a Ravens guy. I'll
Uh,
travel for Ravens football.
Understood. All right, so let's bring it full circle with Happy Eddie. And
Okay.
I had a chance to meet you a couple months ago, and I know, and Wendy talks about this, with other lines or people getting in. And I think anybody who understands beer locally, knowing it was illegal 30 years ago, and I've had Hugh Sisson on many times. We've had beers together at Heavy Seas, and breweries are now ubiquitous, right? People are making beer, brewing beer, and then they go to a radio guy. I'll promote my buddy Huber over
Okay.
100.7. They now have a Hugh beer. There you go, Huber.
There
I
you
don't
go.
even know Huber well, but I listen to 100.7 because they're local like me, and I like
Okay.
local, right? So taking local brands, Ed Reed, Eddie Murray over at Union, they put a beer, they have a name, they have a funny name of a strain or whatever. I kid Wendy all the time. I said, nobody ever, Budweiser never made a Nasty Nestor blogger. And I said, if there's ever a cannabis strain that's mine, it would have to be sativa because
There you go.
I'm not looking to sleep.
High
And
energy.
it had to be clear headed because I'm not looking to be high,
Yeah. Yeah.
as they would have it, or dopey in the corner. But like the Happy Eddie brand, there's a part of it that if I just met you in the street, it's like, okay, so like I would say to Hugh Beer, how did that happen over there that you got a beer named after you and they put your face on it or whatever? I know this was not an ego play for you. It's a business for you. I mean, it's
Yeah.
clearly you have social interest. I know enough about the law in Maryland that there were
Right.
not a whole lot of minorities involved in this, and there was a lot
Right.
of problem. So there was an avenue for you. So give
Right.
me soup to nuts as Eddie the lawyer on a television show with his wife, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, to hey, legal here, there, meeting, because
Right.
I am really fascinated by it. And I've just dropped a whole bunch of friends and beer and different stuff like that. But I see your relationship is the same as Snoop Dogg or Wiz Khalifa going
Yeah.
into, or Willie Nelson, quite frankly, or Cheech and Chong, who show up on
Right.
my Twitter feed, X feed, every
All the
time I
time.
say the word, right?
All the
But I
time.
mean,
Yeah.
for you, you want to, you aspire to something like that on a brand basis, right?
No, I agree. I mean, I have a platform. I have a platform with this role on Housewives, but it's a responsibility as well because I have this legal background where I understand how the laws have impacted in the farcely, black and brown communities with the war on drugs. And so I understand that
So did
with
Wes
this,
Moore this month, by the way, right?
that's a historic signing, pardoning all those cannabis convictions. And so things like that and understanding the history of it allows me not only to play the celebrity game and say, oh, well, I have a face and I have a platform and hey, buy my cannabis, but also I can impact on a social level, on a social impact level with education, with highlighting, what Governor Westmore did with the pardoning of cannabis convictions, or speaking, working with expungement clinics who work with people who have a cannabis offense on their record and trying to get their records expunged. So working with those different organizations and highlighting the work that's being done in the background, but leveraging my platform to now bring it to the forefront so people know about these issues, I've taken kind of like a charge to not only take the celebrity route, but also use this platform to shine a spotlight on everyone doing the work in the background because there's a lot of inequities and injustices that have gone on to criminalize this behavior in the past. So now that it's legal, it's only right that now those wrongs have been right going forward. And so that's a lot of the things that I'm learning and actually advocating for, with Happy Eddie the brand, not just selling cannabis, but also advocacy, education, expungement clinics, and just letting people know that there's a lot of work that's being done in the background in the industry, not just about weed and getting high and you know serving different purposes. There's a lot of work that's going on, and they need to educate themselves on the history of cannabis.
Well, and also just the efficacy of things it could do for,
Exactly.
GI issues and just all sorts of things.
Right.
If it were your wife on, I wouldn't ask how old she is. I'm not going to ask her, but you feel a little younger than me, but old enough to know better. Through all of this, and I would just say, your thoughts as 15 years ago. 20 years ago, law school, whatever, that this would be a track or that legal would be. I'm 55.
Yeah.
I really never thought I'd see the day. And then I got on a plane to Colorado 10 years ago because the Ravens were playing out there. Joe Flacco's running around out there with Peyton Manning, right?
There you
Like you
go.
see it, little green crosses. You go,
Right.
you say, what is this? Wonder if, when,
Yep.
if it'll ever. Um, One thing I'll say, I'm a Dundalk guy, and little bags were served and dimes
Yep.
and this and that and other
Yep.
things, and I never really participated. I'm,
Right.
straight up honest. My
Same.
parents were born in 1919, like
Same
all
here.
of that.
Yep.
I definitely had some friends get busted who were not drug dealers, who were just
Yep.
they had a joint in an ashtray, like crazy stuff like that. Maybe even in Ocean City a million years ago, we were kids or whatever. But I would think a man of color of your age in this
Mhm.
city where the Wire was made, and I've chatted with Martin O'Malley at length and all sorts of people from 20 years ago in that space. Did you have friends incarcerated? Did you, in your social circle, this, that had basically couldn't get a gig, couldn't get a job, couldn't get a
Yes.
job at the fast food place when they were 18 years old because something stupid happened? Like, I
Yes.
don't have a lot of experience with that, but I know everybody in the city does.
No, I definitely do. I definitely know people in high school, as early as high school, middle school, that were arrested for cannabis, selling drugs. I like yourself. I wasn't into selling weed or all those types of illegal activities, and I didn't know the day would come where I would actually be involved in this industry. But I know several people who were doing it, whether they thought it was cool or whether they had to feed their family or whether they just that's just the only life they thought they would have. But I know people who are impacted by cannabis. So for it now to be legal is kind of like mind-boggling that for one, I'm involved in this industry, and two, like people were actually criminalized for it back in the day. And it's like, where's this industry going? I think it's going state to state. They're going to legalize cannabis, and it's just going to be a ripple effect because it's the outlook and the good qualities of it. Like you mentioned, beer, alcohol compared to cannabis is like you could find many good qualities in cannabis. I don't know how many good qualities you'll find in alcohol. Not saying nothing's wrong with alcohol, but I'm just saying
I had
the
some tequila
medicinal
last
impact.
night. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I mean,
Yeah,
so tell me about your wife and about her role in this. And you have Strain's fun name, Strain. I mean, that's why I keep saying, a nasty Nestor Strain. If you get the right thing, when man, But
we'll make it happen.
I'm literally, I kid about it, but some degree. But I serve 100,000 people here too, and when I'm in dispensaries or on the street or anywhere, people talk to me about it because I'm willing to talk about it, and a lot of people weren't
Right.
willing to talk about it forever. Um,
Mhm.
and the dirty little secret is on every concert lawn and everywhere I was, and in every
Yeah,
social circle, black, white, young, old, rich, poor, male,
right.
female, east side, west side, in Maryland, out of Maryland. Not it wasn't just made for Cheech and Chong movies in
Right.
420s like it's been a cultural taboo forever.
Right.
And sort of your wife kind of comes into it as the celebrity on the front end.
Yep.
You have an interesting time to have done this. 20 years ago, if it's Jersey Shore, it would have been a different kind of thing, right?
Exactly, exactly, and her role is actually unique because she has her hand in a lot of different pots. Like she's a political commentator. She's a public speaker. She's on this show. She's a professor, at Hopkins. Like she has her hand in a lot of different pots. But her role with Happy Eddie, she takes this advocacy, social justice lens with Happy Eddie, and so we have a lot of fun string names named after her. Like Zen Wen is after her on the show. She popped off on some woman, and so her tagline or name Zen Wen, we use it for a strain. It'll make you Zen. It makes Zen Wen Zen. It'll make you Zen. And
Chill
so we try to,
out, right? To chill out, right?
yeah, it's a chill, relax, lay back. So we try to infuse it in the brand, just have a little fun with it because it's not supposed to be a stuffy thing. But just using her advocacy, social impact, social justice lens, she adds that to the brand, and so that's why she never lets me lose sight of. Yeah, it's a great industry, multi-billion-dollar industry, great, 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 great. But there's a lot of social impact and social justice you could add to this industry through your legal background, through my social impact lens, and that's what you should do as well. And so
Look,
she
man,
keeps me honest. Yeah.
get out of that Potomac, get back up here to Baltimore inside the
Oh,
Beltway. I
definitely.
know you'll be up here for football season. Eddie Oswego is happy, Eddie, and he's been
Happy.
pretty darn happy here the last 20 minutes or thereabouts to visit with us. I'm glad we got together and said
Yeah.
hello. And I know you have you're new to this, right? Everybody's new to this, we
Yeah.
talk about it all the time, which is one of the reasons I love having Wendy on, because she has like so much institutional
Right.
knowledge and has answers for things and whatever, not just objections from all of that, but just pragmatic, practical
Yeah.
things. What have you learned? I'll go more commit. What have we learned a year into this? And also, you're trying to do new things with your brand as well. It's just not just here's a couple strains, here's a thing, here's a logo. Like, you're pushing forward what you're trying to do with the Happy Eddie, a part of the Curio
Yes.
products, and you have professionals growing this and making this product.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we just introduced two new SKUs, a 14 gram, a 7 gram value flour to the Happy 80 brand. So it allows people, because people go, like I said, it's one of those things that, is stigmatized. We're trying to normalize, but people go to dispensaries often. People use cannabis often. And so they want to buy like a Costco, BJ's type of variety. So they don't have to go to the dispensaries every single day. And so we've introduced these new value propositions for consumers. But I've learned a lot that, a lot of people use cannabis for as a substitute for narcotics that are not working well with their body. And so just understanding that the science behind cannabis, the terpenes, the terp profile, how they interact with everyone's uh systems differently, is unique because you never stop learning. It's like one of those things where you'll learn all the different terpenes. You'll say, oh, okay, this does this, this does that, but my reaction is going to be different from your reaction, and so
Well, it's
it's
the
never going to
same
be the
thing if
same
I put
reaction.
an aspirin, a Bear, an Advil, and a Motrin, whatever in front of you. They're different drugs. They might all take away a headache if you try them, but they're
Right.
all going to do different things to your body and to your liver and to your.
Exactly.
Yeah, they are.
Exactly, and they will react differently with each of our bodies, and so that's the unique thing about cannabis is you may have a high from something, but it doesn't impact me. It doesn't affect me, and it's just weird in that science aspect of it. And so you consistently are learning about the science of it all, which is interesting. I think it's very interesting because I come from, like, I've been in school for too long, And so just learning that, oh shit, I gotta learn some more. Like it kind of is a bummer, but it's
No, we're never
interesting.
gonna stop learning, man. I mean, that's the
Yeah,
problem. That's the magic trick. I think is, hey, come back on again sometime soon. Come get a crab
definitely
cake with me up here.
for
Bring
sure.
your wife. We'll have a hoot. We'll have some fun. Out on the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. Hey, I'm doing 26 oysters in 26 days in September. Might be fun to align with you guys and find a nice little oyster dish down where you guys are. Dude, you don't want to know about Montgomery County crab cake. It just wasn't any good. We got to find. We
Yeah,
got to do better on the oyster tour down there with you
we have
guys,
to
right?
for sure. Definitely, it has to be all across Maryland, not just Baltimore.
It's the Maryland Crab Cake Tour presented by the Maryland Lottery. So, Eddie, good luck to you. But you're, strange but not a stranger. I'll see you soon. We'll get
Definitely
a crab cake sometime soon and hang out, talk a little bit more as you continue to roll that cool stuff, and as you and your wife continue on the track trying to do good things around the community as well, man.
appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on today.
Like, don't tell Wen that I might not watch the TV show, but I'll have you guys on, man. I don't watch a lot of TV shows. Please don't take it
Okay,
personally. All right.
I won't take
Tell
it.
her not
I
to.
won't take it personally.
Tell her I love dinner with you guys, but hey, you don't have to listen to my show, although you should. It's really good. But hey, man, I'll see you down the line. Thanks for coming on, brother.
All right, thanks, Nestor. Appreciate it.
Eddie Oswego. He is happy, Eddie. Our friends at Curio Wellness, and I really recommend this move bomb. But you can go in when you're in the store at Far and Daughter. There's a whole Happy Eddie thing. You learn about it. You can learn about it online as well. HappyEddie.com's out there as well as Far and Daughter and Curio Wellness. We talk about an educational series about here about learning stuff and sort of blending in a little bit of fun, a little bit of sports, a lot of music this week. We've had some great conversation. I even found some old Joan Jett stuff for the Splash Zone this week. So big doings around here. We get the Maryland Crab Cake Tour back out at Fadley's in the new Lexington Market on the 12th of July. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore positive.